Aloha. In this video, I'm going to go over assignment 7, the Campus Cuisine Procedures problem. This is ICS321. Let me share my screen. And so here's the assignment. And in this assignment, we have already created our Campus Cuisine database. And we've also made a couple of triggers. And what we're going to do now in this last one is we're going to create a stored procedure. It's similar to the stored procedure that you created in the the QACS Queen Anne Curiosity Shop database. And in this one, we're adding a place to the place cuisines table. And so similarly with that one, I give you the code pretty much, except for I give you, there are these blank spots here where you have to figure out which of these statements down here need to be plugged into here to make the code work. And then here I sort of go over how you can test it. And these are some error codes that you should test for. Okay. And so I'll go over that today. And then the second part of this assignment is you're going to create some server-side APIs. And a server-side API is how a mobile app, for example, interfaces to a database over the internet. There's just this little dinky bit of code that's on the server, and PHP is a very common language to write these little APIs in. It stands for Application Programmer Interface. And you know, you send the APIs some name-value pairs, and name value pairs, just like if you had a form, just like a form on the internet, and then it returns a JSON object, a JavaScript object notation object, which can have an array in it or some values or whatever. And then there's usually some sort of JavaScript or you know, Angular or something on the client side in the mobile app, which can take that JSON object and split it up into create some rows of a table or whatever. Okay, so I'm having you create 3 APIs here. One is an API which is going to use your add place stored procedure. It's going to use your add place stored procedure. And you're going to be able to add you know, add places using the API, and the API uses your stored procedure. And then there's another one here. It's an API to remove a place, and in both of these APIs, they're pretty simple. All you have to do is put in your username and your password, and they work. So the trick is you have to be able to recognize that it works. So in other words, these two sort of get you familiar with what APIs actually are with something that you've already created that works. And then this one here, the search API, SearchPlaces, this is a little bit more difficult. This is an API that will where you enter in, for example, a campus, you send to campus, and then it returns all of the places at that campus. Or you send it a cuisine, and it returns all the places at all the campuses or all the places at all the campuses of that cuisine. And for a place, you can input a place. It will return all the campuses that that place is a favorite. And you can do a couple of them if you want to know what the favorite Italian place is at a particular campus. You can put the campus and then the Italian, and it'll return the place, so on. And for this code, all you need to do is here's the select statement that's going to return all the places for all the campuses. And all you have to do here is add code here that will take these 0, 1, 2, or 3 parameters that come in, and how do you create the where clause, that goes on the end of this select statement, so you are able to so you return the right array of places. Okay, so and then the last, and then this here is a little HTML form that you can use to test your APIs. Okay, so in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where all of these, where all the starting code goes. I'm going to show you where all the starting code goes, and I'm not going to actually start to solve any of the problems, but I'm just going to sort of set up all of these just to see how to get going. So for the first one, you're going to go into your, the first one is creating a stored procedure called add place. So you're going to go into MySQL, or no, you're going to go into phpMyAdmin, and then you're going to go to your campus database, which you should already have, and you probably have a couple of do you have triggers here yet? So you have a campus places trigger. You probably have a trigger here for places cuisines. That's fine. Just go back to campus. This is the campus database with all these tables here. And we're going to add a routine here. So click on routines. And we're going to add a new routine. And let me put this here, make this a little bit bigger. And let's go over and grab the starting code. Here's the starting code. I'm just going to copy all this starting code. What the heck? All the way down to here. And then I'm going to right click and copy. And then I'm going to go back to my great big template here. And I'm going to do a right click and a paste. Okay. And now if I hit go, it's not going to accept it. Oh, I have to name it. So I'm going to name it add place, add _place. It's got to be named that. And then this tells me that here, this comment up at the top here, there's an input parameter called campus1, which is a varchar 10, cuisine1, which is a varchar 25, place1, which is a varchar 50, and I've got an out variable called error, which is an integer, and another out variable called msg, which is a varchar 200. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one is campus1. And that's a varchar 10. This is a cuisine. And this is a varchar 25. And this is a place1. And this is a varchar 50. And then this is an out. And this is an error. It's a variable called error. It's an input. It's an output variable called error. And it's an integer. And then we've got another output variable here called MSG. And that is a varchar 200. Okay. So I've got those, the input and the output set up. If I click go, it's still not going to accept it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just comment out enough so I can click go, and then that'll be my starting point. Now, what you actually have to do to get this to work is you notice that there's these asterisks here. There's one there, another one there, another one there, one here, and one here. And they have to be replaced with these here. So, for example, I'll just give you the first one here. This is the first one. We're looking for, we're setting a variable called valid, which is going to validate the campus. Okay, so we want to have a select statement in here that looks at the campus input and sees if it finds it in the campus table. So that would be select from campuses where campus equals 1. So this is the select statement. Copy. It goes into here. paste. Okay. And also, yeah, so you can fill in the rest of them, but it turns out that I can just comment out these lines here, and then it will go ahead and allow me to save this. Just comment these out here. Okay, so so this is where I'm going to leave this, and I'm going to click Go. Okay, and it accepted it. And we can see here, if we just want to look at this, we can click on Export here. And we can just take a look at this and see what it looks like. And we see that this is what the export looks like if you wanted to export this. But here, so we have to go in and take out these comments, and we have to fill in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we fill them in from selecting from here. Okay, we've already done this one. All right. Okay, so that's what you're going to need to do to finish the first part of the assignment. Now, again, you're going to go and use this form here, this SU20 at ICS321.com, to test to make sure that your stuff works. And this is hooked up to the grading system. So this is more about what I use, what the system, how the system grades your stuff, and more than. But it's a good idea to look and see how it actually is graded. So I've put my login credentials here, my cPanel login credentials for Joe Schmo, and that's the one I just added, right? And so now I can test the add place procedure, and when I click on this, I see, okay, so what I do is I put in a couple fake campuses, I put in a couple of fake cuisine types, and then I put in one place. I haven't attached it to any campus, but I put in a place, which is called Place Cuisine 1, and it's of cuisine type Cuisine 1 here. And then I do a bunch of tests. I first try to test and see if I can say Place Cuisine 1 is a favorite place at Campus A. There's no favorites at Campus A or Campus B yet. I just added those campuses. So I should be able to, and Cuisine 1 is a valid cuisine, and Place Cuisine 1 is a valid place. So I should be able to add that into Campus A, and it should accept it. And so here I set up the arguments, and then I call my stored procedure, and it returns, and I do some tests, and I see that it doesn't return the correct answer, and so on. I see they all fail. Some do pass because they're not supposed to do anything, and in fact it doesn't do anything. You're not supposed to insert it, but anyway, it's not perfect. The grading thing isn't perfect, but with just what we entered there, looks like we got 22 out of 40 points. That's not bad. All right, so that is now a way that you'd manually test this is you can click on execute, right? Execute. Yeah, and then this form comes up. So let's say we try to add, let's say we try to add Campus Place UHWO, and the cuisine is, well, let's just add a fake campus, XXX, and the cuisine is Himalayan kitchen, and it's Nepalese. Valid place, valid. Oops. Mixed up here. So I try to put that at Campus XXX, and it goes. Oh. It rejected it because we actually put that part in. Let's try a fake cuisine. Well, anyway, we see that part worked, and that's because we had actually entered that in. Oops, it's a routine. Oops. see it checks to see that there's a campus, and if it's not valid, if it's 0, then it says that that campus is not a designated campus. It sets error equal to 1, and then it never does anything else again because error is not equal to 0. It was set equal to 1. So anyway, so that works. All right, that's part 1. Now part 2 is these APIs, and so I'm just going to copy all these over so you can see what it looks like to get going, and then the next video I will actually go in and talk a little bit more about what you should do, probably with the last one here. All right, so I'm going to go to my cPanel, and I'm going to go to File Manager, and I'm going to go to public HTML, and we see there's no files here. If I go to Joe Schmo at ICS321.com, just that, this is what my website looks like to the public. And you see all there is there's this CGI bin directory there that's not good for anything because there's nothing in there. So the APIs go right into this directory. The APIs are actually visible to the public. And there are other things that make it so not anybody can just use your API. There's some special security measures in there where it's only a program that originates from this server can request API access unless there's some special codes in there. But anyway, so when we're all done, our site will look something like this. This is already done, and we're going to have an add place API, which is comes back with this because I didn't put any parameters. You have a remove place, no parameters. We have search places, and you're going to have to figure that out. But here, if you put in no parameters, it returns all the places. So this is what it looks like, where it returns all the places. This is a nice JSON object, and it returns a places array. And then there's this, what else is there? Test forms. Okay, this test forms is the last thing that I have you put in, and it's actually a form. See, it looks like this. And this is the form that you can use to test your program or your APIs. And in fact, down here is just a dump of all the places. So look, we can remove, let's do something. Let's remove something I'll remember how to put back in again. Let's remove UHM, Nepalese, Himalayan Kitchen. Okay, so I'm going to remove from UHM, Himalayan Kitchen. Himalayan Kitchen. And I'm going to click Remove Place. And there was no error. It was removed. And so now when I go back here and I hit refresh, we see that UHM Himalayan Kitchen has been removed. We can add it back in again, I think. UHM, I don't have to put anything there because it's already in. Himalayan Kitchen. And here I'm able to add it back in. So now when I go back here and do refresh, boom, it's back. And if I want to search all the UHM places, I can do this and search places, and see I get all the places for UHM. Okay, so that's what these things do, and that's what this testforms.php looks like. That was on my other test account that I do the assignments before I make the videos. So let's pop in. We've done the first one. Let's pop these 3 APIs in, and let's pop this code in here. So I tell you what, I can just do this one by one. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to do make an API named addPlace.php. So I'm going to go to my file manager. I'm in public underscore HTML. If there's a CGI bin directory, and these 2 files are hidden files. You may see them because You remember the first assignment was to actually set these files. But anyway, so that's there. Let's create a new file, and the new file is called addplace.php. add_place.php. Create a new file. Okay, there's that one. It's empty. And in fact, now if I go over here and look at my Joe Schmo, my website, and I hit a refresh, there it is, addplace.php, and it's empty. Let's go back here and let's create remove_place.php, and let's also create search_places.php. Okay, and so now when we go over here and go refresh, we've got these three things. Okay, one more, and that is this. Yeah, that is this. It's called testforms.php. File. Test_forms.php. Is that what I call it? Test form? Test forms. Oh, forms. All right. Okay, it doesn't matter because it's just a human that's looking at that one, and I don't actually look to see if you actually created this. But anyway, so now if we hit refresh, now you can see we can click on these and we should get nothing because there's nothing there. They're all zero. So let's fill them up with this code that I give you. All right. So let's do the first one. Let's just go back up to the top and let's do addplace.php. So I'm going to click on that, and over here I'm going to click on edit, and I'm going to click on edit, and I'm going to go over here, go back here, and I'm going to find add place. This one, starting with this PHP tag all the way down to the end PHP tag. Copy. Go back over here, paste, and before I do anything else, I'm going to click save. All right. Now what you have to do, this is important, what you have to do is you have to put in your username. You know, Joe, you have to put in your username, and you have to put in your password, whatever your password is. You know, whatever. Whatever that is, you got to put your password in there. And then this will work. Until you do that, make sure you save your changes. Until you put in your real username and password, then this thing is not going to work. It takes user to access, you know, your server and your database campus, and the user and the password and the database to access the database management system, you know, MySQL itself. This is how it calls your add place. It takes these inputs, campus, place, that come in from these name value pairs, and anyway, it does this thing, gets the results back out again, selects them back out again, and then it builds up this JSON encode, this JSON object to send back to you. All right, so let's save the changes. And so that's add place. Let's go to remove place, and I'm going to edit this. Edit. And that is this remove place code, which is this remove place. And so it starts here and goes down to here, copy, and I'm going to paste that right here. Same thing, you got to put in a user and you got to put in a password. That's all you got to do to get these working. Make sure you save that. And for the search places, this is going to be a little bit more tricky, because here, let's copy this over. From here down to here, copy, in search places. If it looks kind of funny, there's a little thing up here, this arrow thing, you might click that and it ends up making it take up more across the screen. All right, so in this particular one, in search places, you got to add some code right here. Okay, it's like you know, if campus is greater than nothing, then you need to SQL. You have to add, append onto SQL something like where campus equals whatever campus, something like that. Okay, something like that. And then, but you have to check cuisine in place. And when you're building this thing up, you can't have more than one. So it's fancier. It's trickier than this. You have to actually check to see if there's anything. Make sure you only put one where in there. And then for each of these, you can do an and it, on, and so on. Anyway, that's the hard part. That's the hard part. Okay. And so anyway, when that's done, then you'll see you refresh this. And now you see that these files have content. This last one here, let's do that one. Over here and click this. And you can do right click and do edit. And go back over here and grab this from this horizontal rule to this here. Okay. And I copied it. And go over here and let's paste this. And this is lousy HTML because it doesn't have starting HTML tags or anything. Doesn't matter. Save this. And now when we go to the index here, now we have click on here and we see here's our test form. Now down here, this is where we try to read up the table. And you notice over here in the one that worked, in this one that works, down here it reads up all of the places in the Campus Cuisine Place table. In this one, these come up fine. That's just HTML, but this doesn't work because it's because you have to put in your username. In this case, it's just Joe Schmo. I think it's JSCHMOE at ICS321. But then I have to put in JSCHMOE, and this is going to be JSCHMOE. But this has got to be my password. It's got to be what my password is, okay? Something like SJ blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's got to be my password. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be sneaky. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put this over here. And I want to see if I can remember what that password is. I think that's what it is. Okay. And I saved it, but then I'm going to change it again. And let's see if this works. I'm going to refresh this. Oh, and behold. Okay, so now this works. So all you have to do to get it to work is in this SearchPlace. No, in this test form. You have to paste it in there, and then you have to put in your username there, your username there. You have to put in your password here, whatever your password is, and then you have to put your username in right there. And then you save it, and then it'll work. All right. So, and after that, you should be able to. Then these forms should work. Let's. Oh no, these forms will not work until I think this will Campus work. Campus will work. No, it doesn't. Oh well. So anyway, I hope that helps, and that that should get you started with assignment. That should get you started with assignment 7, and I will come back in a little while with a little bit more on how to do the search form. Thanks for watching.